Hello everyone, welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, we're going to be looking at how to exclude targets using a list. Now, we've actually looked at how to use a list for certain, for certain specifications using Nmap. All right. So in this lecture, we're going to be looking at how to use the exclude function. But in this case, we're going to be using it to exclude targets using a list that we've created. So the list will contain a list of IP addresses that you want to exclude from a certain scan that you want to perform. All right. So I'm pretty sure you're familiar with what we're going to do. We're going to create a list that is going to contain a list of the IP addresses that we're not currently, that we do not want to scan. All right. So let's get started. So I'm just going to open up my text editor. So I'm just going to be using LeafPad. You can open up whatever one you want. And I'm just going to give a list of the IP addresses that I want to exclude from the scan. All right. So I'm going to exclude the current host operating system, which is Windows, or the current host computer, which is Windows, which is running Windows. That is 1.104. And I'm going to also cut out my other Windows computer, which is 1.103, similar to the previous one. And we can also get rid of, that's pretty much it. We can also get rid of the router. All right. So 192.168.1.1. All right. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to save it on my desktop or in my working directory. So I'll have to actually switch. So I'm just going to call it, exclude and .txt. All right. That extension is very, very important. And I'm going to hit save. All right. Fantastic. Now let me just close that up. And as you can see, the txt file exists here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my directory to desktop. Awesome. All right. Now we can get started. So essentially, if I just display the contents here, so exclude.txt, you can see that it does display the IP addresses that we have set to exclude. Now, looking at the syntax that we're going to be using, the Nmap, obviously, followed by the targets, and then the exclude file parameter, followed by the name of the file and the extension. All right, so let's get started. So I'm going to be scanning my subnet. So 192 Nmap 192.168.1.1 and in the subnet of 24, which is obviously we know is an aversion. All right. So we're then going to use the exclude file. So instead of exclude, we're going to be using the exclude file parameter. So that is the exclude file. All right. Let me just maximize this window. Oops. Let's do that again. Let me just clear it out. So Nmap, and we're scanning the subnet. So 192.168.1.124 and followed by the parameter exclude file. So exclude file. All right. And then that is followed by the list or the name of the document in which you have stored the list of IP addresses that you want to exclude. In this case, the exclude.txt. Whoops, there we are. Exclude.txt, which is on the desktop. All right, so fantastic. Now we can actually just hit enter, and this should essentially scan the entire subnet and exclude the IP addresses that we have provided in the exclude.txt file. So I'm going to hit enter. And it's going to start the scan. All right. And obviously it's going to take a few seconds. And this time, because it's going through the entire subnet and it's excluded I have two Windows computers on my network, and I have two Linux computers. So probably one of them is up, and no, actually it's only my Samsung device and my Nexus 5X that is currently online, as you can see. So indeed it did exclude the router IP address. So we actually, this is fantastic. We're getting to learn how we can, specialize our scans and to, just scan what we want to scan. All right. So as you can see, it's discovered my Nexus 5X device and one of my Samsung mobile devices. And there you are. Fantastic. So that is simply how to exclude targets or IP addresses from a scan using a list. All right. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this lecture, and I'll be seeing you in the next lecture.